Hello, everyone. Irashaimase. It's your host, Andres Salazar. You guys know I'm a fan of illustration. That's what this channel is about. Comic books, graphic novels, illustrations, things like that. And sometimes we do book reviews. Sometimes we talk about my work. Today, we're going to do a book review, as you know by the title. This is The Art of Perry Peterson. I do not know Perry Peterson before I bought this book. I got this at San Diego Comic-Con. Stuart Ing. Love Stuart Ing over in Torrance, California. He has a booth, my favorite booth. I talked about it on the video. And he has a lot of these cool illustrators from like the 50s, the 60s, things like that. And I bought it. I read it. It's like probably the first thing I read. And I love it. He's not my favorite. That would be like Bernie Fughes or Austin Briggs. But let's take a look at this book. I think it's fun. Highly recommend if you're into this kind of older style illustrations. This is a cool book. So let's turn the camera over and take a look. Okay, guys, are you ready to see some old school illustration by Perry Peterson? I have a number of these books. There's like 2 or 3 different companies that make these. This one's Illustrators Press, but there's a couple of other ones that make the same style of book, which is a kind of beginning of, the biography of the artist and then a collection of their work, like most art books. But these are all centered upon these illustrators of, things like Saturday Evening Post, Look, those kind of magazines. And Life, stuff like that, before photography came and destroyed the industry. So before this guy, I never knew Perry Peterson, and I know a lot of them, but I had not heard of him. I saw this right off the bat. Notice he's only using black, maybe in the hair, but look at this beautiful purple shadow on the white skirt. Great hands. Yeah, just wonderful stuff. He died very young. He was a young man when he died. I think in his 50s. Yeah, at the age of 50. So, bada bing. Young man. He spent all his money. I was so fascinated by this. To earn money as a youngster, he took odd jobs, sold newspapers. He saved every penny he had for years to get, does he say how many years? To get a oil paint set. I mean, this kid wanted to be a painter early on. He saved his money to be able to finally get an oil paint set. Let me tell you, oil paints they run out. You go do so many paintings. So he had, bless his heart, these are these really fun little like try-in schools. So of course he did the try-in school where you try to draw this drawing and then you get accepted. And it's kind of a male course. You go back and forth. But as an early boy, he started working on some of this stuff, and he did a great job. I mean, he was a young kid doing some wonderful work. He did the Land O'Lakes logo before it got changed from the little Pawnee girl. Yeah, he was just really good. Really great work. We'll see some more of these monotone images for these magazines that I really love. Really love this stuff. Here's a cool looking at the photography. He used his daughter Penny, who would stand in, and notice that's the daughter, and then when you actually draw it, then he's gonna like change it up a bit and kind of like change the pose slightly and just kind of make it better. So one thing I learned from this is don't be a slave to the reference. The reference is important to use, but don't be a slave to it. So you don't have to, it's not a still life, right? When you're in class and you have the model in front of you, yeah, draw him the way she is. Use those angles. Use your use your pencil, you know, and kind of measure and all that kind of stuff, right? You're measuring, you know. But when you're doing illustration and you want to maybe amplify things a bit, then you don't need to do that. So don't be a slave. Because look, you see this, and then it turns into that. I mean, talk about a difference, right? Now he's got some of the same things, the position here, but look at this. Look how the hips are thrust out more. She's like almost vertical, and he really like bangs that out better. So you're using it just as a guide. There's a art tip 105 for you. And I like these pencil sketches. Then he will do this like a two-tone sketch with some red accents, and then he'll go in and he'll do that. Sometimes I like the sketches better, but this is just a plan, right? It's just a plan things out, and I don't do that as much as I should. I really like, I mean, beautiful faces, man. Gosh, this stuff is really good. I really appreciated him as I take a look at this and studied him. Really nice work. He would hire models, of course. He would get the higher end ones, you know, the ones that he really wanted, that knew what they were doing, because to him it was worth it to get someone who like had the clothes, had everything set up. These are fun drawings here and sketches. That's beautiful. Yeah. Really like the contrast, the lighting here is really well done. Great darks. That little branch here, that foreground, really, if that wasn't there, it just wouldn't work as good. She needs to be somehow obscured a little bit, just to create some depth in the drawing. It's really well done. And this is interesting. So here you see the color sketches, right? Kind of just playing with, okay, how are we going to do this? And then he does the final one. And you can see some elements, of course, are similar. I mean, a lot of them are. But then he changes a lot of this stuff. And then, of course, the face. And yeah, very, very cool. The beautiful hair. Love this hair. I love how he's doing this. He's not blending it in, right? You're accenting it with these dry brush strokes. Blends in the face, though, of course. Certain things you can. I like this one, too. This like a painter painting. It's kind of fun. More photography, kind of like using this to compose. So he would take different photos of different things, put them all together. This is before Photoshop. This is just him working this out. And then he would paint this bad boy on some illustration board or whatever. So these are some they're calling these editorial illustrations. These are basically from stories, these little short stories, and in the stories they have some illustrations and drawings in them. So these are like a Saturday Evening Post, things like that, as I mentioned. I really like the muted color. A little bit of green, a little bit of blue, a little bit of burnt sienna or something, or a little bit of oranges and things, just a little bit of the tie. Just to pop it out a little bit, but not full color palette. Look at that, that's great. I need to do some studies of these. I just don't have that much time, but I'd like to, just to learn from him and reproduce something if I can. I also like these that are a little bit more rough, a little bit more gestural. I like the way those are done versus the really fun, very like refined stuff. That's cool too. I like this. Oh, really cool faces. Look at these. These are all really well rendered, man. Look at the key light on him. The key light, that hard light that's on the on that side of his face. Very neat. I mean, some of these look like almost a photography. The way they're done, the way it's rendered and realized, it looks really well. It's like extremely well done. And then some have a little bit more of a looser cartoon flavor to it. Great faces, though. The smile, the subtlety in the smile. Look at that. Isn't that neat? The light here hitting his face and those glasses. That's a nice, I should draw this face. That's a nice face. Yeah, nice lips. He was very aware of fashion. He had his morgue file or scrap file where he would have these cabinets full of drawings and photos and references of fashion and things. And so he was aware of the latest fashion. He would use that in his artwork, especially when you're doing like women's stuff. You want it to look kind of hip and modern. So he was aware of that and took that into consideration when he's doing some of this stuff, which helped, I'm sure, get jobs and be who he was. Look at that. That's cool. It's a full color piece. Again, here's another loose one, huh? This is really loose. So there is some kind of different styles. You kind of feel like, ooh, look at that one. That one's a lot of fun. A lot of energy in that. I like the face. I'm not sure if I like this, but I do like her face. And his hand right there, that looks nice. And this is fun too. I think my favorites are these, though. These kind of two-toned pieces. Look, kind of a lot of noir crime, stories and things like that. A moment of heightened tension. Someone getting punched, socked, knocked out, dead, kissed. That's nice. That's really nice there. I wish I knew what the size of these were. I'm assuming they're like 19 or 20 inches across. 19. It's not 19 by 13 because it's a little too narrow for that, but maybe 20 by 10 or something like that, or whatever. It would be fun to know what the size, because I don't know. And if this was like 3 feet across, that would give me a different thought about it. That's really well done. Ooh, I like this one a lot. Yeah. That's cool too. That's pretty. Yeah. Doing the shading and shadows on white clothes can be tricky. And there's just, are you guys seeing how much? There's just so much art here. There's so much to see. It is really fun to look at all this. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. The yellow looks great. And there's tons. I don't even think I've finished this. There's like so much here. Goodness. Really cool. We've got some new books that just came in that we'll be talking about too. That's nice. So that's cool. There you go. That's the book. I think that was kind of fun. A lot of cool stuff here, isn't there? Really, really nice. That's beautiful too. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see what I'm up to, go check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate that. You can take a look at it. If you want to be a member, that would be even better. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.
Are you ready?